Welcome back, and now we're going to have a look at one of the Green Hectares key tools called the Hopper, and I have Diana Zibitz with me today, and we're going to do a walkthrough, a bit of a demo on what this hopper looks like. So we're going to go to full screen, computer screen here, and if you missed what we were talking about in the last segment, there is a resource page that is on greenhectaresonline.com that is really what a partner would see when they got into this. Now, we're going to talk about the user side right now. So one of the first things to do if you are wanting to be a user is you go and register. And how simple is this registration process?
Oh, it's very simple. All you have to do is enter in some basic details, first name, last name, email address, and select a few preferences, and then you're off to the races.
So pretty quick, maybe a minute or so, and you're off and running. Okay, so we've already done this. I'm already set up. And what happens here is when we log into it, you'll be on a web page. Maybe you're on the Green Hectares web page, right? Maybe you're on another web page. But this bottom bar will come up, this search bar.
That's right.
So now we're going to try a few things out. So what should we do first? We want to show the functionality of what we've got here. What's the first thing we do, Diana?
Great. Well, the first thing that we do is right next to the hopper logo that you see at the bottom right, there's an up arrow. So you want to select that. And that's really going to bring the program up to a bigger screen. Pardon me, to a bigger screen. So the first thing that we're going to look at is, there's three main features, but we're going to look first at events. So events is what's coming up on the right-hand side of the page. So if you click on View All.
And those I see are all by date right now.
That's right.
Upcoming. So in the next day or so, what's happening around Alberta?
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So this is a real consolidation of events, of agricultural events all around Alberta. So you can either browse through them or you can search for them. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to click on View All, just so we can get a bigger screen of the events.
Okay.
And now we can see events starting from today's date going forwards. So we can scroll through the different events by date at the bottom through the numbers. Okay. So let's say you just wanted to browse through and find an event on October the 7th as an example.
Okay.
So that's one option. Another option is to search by location.
And I see that there's a couple different things coming up here. When I hover over that event, it's giving me some description of what's going on.
That's right.
Okay.
And if there was a web page associated with that, then we could click on that and then we could see what that event is. So why don't we go and look for one of those right now?
Sure, let's do that.
So let's look for an event that's happening in Olds.
Okay.
Great. So we'll just type that in and hit go. We'll be able to see now that 4 events come up.
Wow.
And any of those look interesting to you?
Well, let's have a look at the Canadian Forage and Grassland Association. Let's get that big mouthful out. And a conference coming up in December. So we can hover over it and we get a bit of an overview of what's going on here with it. And I guess we can also click to their website.
That's right.
Okay. So we go in and
now the partner's website is going to come up with details on the event. So if you need to sign up or get a phone number or anything like that, you'll be able to find all that information here.
So CFGA is a partner.
That's right.
And they are publishing all their event information through the hopper.
We are publishing everything right now, but in the very near future, I'm talking a matter of weeks, they'll be able to go in and enter the events themselves. And they'll also be able to enter experts and also their resources themselves as well.
Excellent. So they're taking it to the next step. Now we have this little bar that comes up occasionally. Did you find this resource useful?
This is something that we report on for partners, and they can come in and look at these reports either on a weekly or a monthly basis to find out which users liked their particular resources and which users went to go and see their resources. So it gives you a little bit of intel to see what your users are looking for.
Okay, we'll say we liked this resource.
Sure.
Probably be at that conference as well, so we liked it.
Great.
Now we look down at the bottom of this web page and we have the hopper bar is now loaded on that web page, so we want to go back and do what?
So why don't we go look for another event? So if you just hit the up button again.
Okay, there we go.
The View All next to events.
Okay.
Let's say we want to look for, not necessarily a location, but let's say we want to look for a topic.
Okay.
So let's say we want to look for an event based on cattle marketing.
Okay.
And then we'll just hit go again.
Excellent.
Now we can see 2 events have popped up, so if that's of interest to you, then you can come in here and find that information, and you'll never have to miss another event again because it'll all be consolidated here for you.
We can click on it, takes us right to the partner's website.
Yep.
And then they'll get some metrics on here. So in a moment or two, the nice helpful bar will come up that we can vote on. The voting bar will come up, and we can deal with it there.
That's right.
Okay, excellent. So we've looked at events now, and that seems to be definitely a piece that's been missing with our information for agriculture in Alberta for a long time. It's very fragmented. So this kind of deals a little bit with the fragmentation out there of getting that information more consolidated, doesn't it?
Definitely. So there's 2 methods, or there's actually 3 methods of getting your event on here. If you're a partner, you can create your own login and load the events yourself, like we just talked about, which will be available in a couple weeks.
Okay.
The second method is we have Green Hectares staff out there looking for events in the rural and agricultural communities right now. We're adding about 500 events a month, so there's a lot of events in there right now. And then the third method is if you had an event, you don't have to be a partner. You can click on suggest an event when we were under view all events, and you can actually email us and we will add the event in there for you.
Now that's free, is that right?
It is all free.
So just contact greenhectares.com, or is it online.com?
greenhectaresonline.com.
Okay, almost got to make that distinction these days.
Yep.
Okay, so anybody that has an event in agriculture, whether you're nonprofit, whether you're a business, for-profit business, they can use this to publicize their event. So it's a promotional engine.
Exactly.
Now, will they also receive the metrics back in terms of how many people have looked at that page?
Yes.
That announcement?
Yes.
So that's also free metrics.
That's right.
Wow, how valuable is that? Okay, one other thing I saw here with this is that we pull up events here and we have different, we have a few more pages in here, but we can also sort by month.
That's right.
Okay, so we can go into November and we're going to see what's there. And it looks like it's not just things in Alberta, but across Canada as well.
That's right. Yep, so lots of events there for you.
Excellent. And certainly there's if you're browsing looking for something to do, you're going to be able to find something fairly quickly with this.
For sure.
Okay, good. Now when we come back, we're going to take a little bit more of a deep dive on here and talk about experts. And you have a whole system for setting up experts, I understand, as well. And we have a few loaded in here. But I don't think your experts are the same thing as your speakers in the Rural Voices. Is that right?
No, they are completely different.
They're completely different.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a little bit of different information here. And, you know, if they might appear in both places, but not to expect them necessarily that way. That's excellent. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to look at the experts as well as look at some of the recommendations pieces. And I understand there's 53,000 resources in that.
That's right.
So join us and we'll continue with the demo.